The very first step before draining the jacuzzi would be to cut off the power, which would be at the breaker. At this point, we can see that the power is off, and we've located the cleverly marked cap called drain, which we're going to unscrew to find the hose. So we've located the drain hose, which would be here. They're really not very long, so I would definitely recommend having an extension hose that I'm going to connect right here and run that out to the yard or someplace that could use a little extra water. All you have to do is unscrew it like so. Connect your extension like that, and then just open up the valve so that the water can flow from the jacuzzi out to the yard. Depending on the size of the jacuzzi, the number of gallons of water in it, it can take a few hours for it to drain out. We do want to remove all of the water before adding new water. This gives us a chance to do a nice inspection of the jacuzzi and do any cleaning that we need to do before starting our refresh. You can see at the drain on the right that the water line's pretty low, so it's not going to drain anymore by itself. My technique is to use a water-hungry sponge like this big blue one, and I just soak up the water, and I put it into the bucket, and I toss the water into the yard or wherever. But we do want to get all the water out, so that's our next step, and then we can look at replacing the filter and refilling our box. Okay, so the jacuzzi's now been drained. I'm ready to disconnect the extension hose like this. Make certain that you close the valve, the drain valve like this, before putting the cap back on. And it doesn't have to be screwed on extremely tightly. It's already been closed here. So just kind of hand tighten that a little bit and just kind of jam it back here. And then we would replace the drain cap as the final step. And done. Water drained, check. Little residuals of stuff after the water was drained has been picked up with a sponge. In terms of cleaning, I just make sure there's nothing visible in there. I use a sponge to pick stuff up. And one of my favorite tools would be a little scrubbing. This is a stiff brush, and I just kind of do a once around. You'll see little areas that need to of buildup that need to be just scrubbed off. Key thing is never use any chemicals, no Simple Green or anything that's going to leave soap suds or any kind of residual chemical in there. It's going to be very difficult to get out. You'll notice right where the filter is, there's this little box, and where the water line is, there's going to be something that you can scrub off there, and especially behind this, there's usually a little bit of buildup right there, which that scrubby brush is good for, and especially where the filter is itself. So in our next step, we're going to remove the filter, use our brush, and just kind of go through and make sure it's absolutely spotless before we can start our refresh. Whenever you have your car's oil changed, they always change the filter. Well, we don't have to change the filter. We have to replace it maybe once a year, depending on the use of the jacuzzi and how it's maintained. But you do have to have it cleaned, and before refreshing the water, I take that opportunity just to rinse it off really well, and making sure to squirt from the outside and also from the inside. Would look something like this. Go ahead. And that's about it.